Ladies, gentlemen, speedsters out there, today I am doing a reaction, plus don't go anywhere after the reaction, breakdown, kind of my first impressions breakdown of what I'm about to watch from the official trailer 2. Now, I assume this means it's going to be like the final trailer. If you aren't aware already, by the way, they are screening The Flash very, very, very soon, maybe around the time I'm filming this video at CinemaCon. And what they're doing aside that is this trailer release. So without any more dilly-dallying, let's get into this. Okay, a little preview of the trailer at the beginning, as all trailers do at the minute. Oh, okay.
I lost my parents.
Martha and Thomas. There they are.
That pain made me who I am.
Oh, the Batcave. Nice. Nice. A bit of
I spent a lifetime
the Batman.
trying to right the wrongs of the past.
Some nice shots here.
As if fighting crime would bring my parents back.
That is...
You actually did it.
Ooh, that hit kind of hard.
I can't imagine what you've been through.
I love you, Monkey.
You lost both parents in one day.
The suit looks good there.
I went back in time to save my parents.
Okay.
Instead,
Speed
I
Force.
completely broke the universe.
You gotta go for that learning curve
Let's
as,
move back and change the past.
as a
This
speedster.
world must die. You changed the future.
Do you know what this symbol stands for? Means hope, right?
Supergirl. Alright.
I will help you fight Zod.
Alright.
You want to get nuts?
Come on. Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
That wasn't as cheesy as it could have been. I will say that. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Alright, alright.
I have to undo what I did.
Alright.
These scars we have make us who we are. I'm not meant to go back and fix them.
Oh, good old Batfleck.
Don't let your tragedy define you.
Nice. Okay. Oh, wow. What? What? What was that? Okay. Keaton's armor, very bulletproof. A lot of dramatic music. Ooh.
No matter
Ooh.
what we do, we're not going to be able to fix this. No!
Oh, okay.
Nobody dies!
Okay. What the hell? The Kryptonian on the Batwing. Batman gets out of that Batwing. Nice. Good shots there, I'm not gonna lie. Really nice shots. That is pretty cool.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Where's yours?
Woo! Yeah. Oh. Okay. A bit of an extended version of one of the TV spots that we've been over. Now, what I'm going to do is go over in a little bit of a mini breakdown now over what we saw from the trailer. Now, what I really liked about the beginning of it is that Batman, Keaton's Batman, goes over what he's done, you know, ever since losing his parents. And he says something very profound. And recently I've been watching some of Matt Reeves' interviews, obviously with Robert Pattinson's Batman. And he goes over, you know, how Batman has been kind of doing what he's been doing. Obviously, he's year 2 in the Batman movie. And he's been trying to stop something or kind of go out every night and fight it as if it would change anything, as if like he's operating off of a 10-year-old's mind state. And obviously, as Keaton says here, that pain made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past. But then he goes on to say, as if fighting crime would bring my parents back. Obviously, that's an experience from a much, much, much older Batman, but I do think that's a very profound Bruce Wayne line. And it makes me super, honestly, a lot of us love Michael Keaton's Batman. It's a very, very brilliant product of its time. It catapulted Batman into all kinds of, well, what we have today with Batman. And it really excites me hearing dialogue like that. And I'm not trying to make it sound like bloody Shakespeare, but what I am saying is it makes me excited, really excited, more than what I was before, to go back into Keaton's Batman, but obviously quite a bit older. and reflecting on it. And also with how he talks to Barry in this moment, but you did it. Then the next parts of the trailer, we see Barry outside, I believe, on the night of his mother's death. And that's what we've seen in some of the other trailers. We see him powered down with his suit. And what I mean by powered down, the lights aren't glowing up in all the lines of his suit. And I know a lot of people actually really prefer that look. And the more I see of this Flash suit, the more it grows on me. Not that I've ever really disliked it or anything like that. It's just, you know, it still took a little bit of getting used to, all while I did like a lot about it. I actually really like the boots. I know some people want like proper gold boots. It seems to be more gold trimmed, but you know, the symbol, the everything about it is proper clean compared to the collar that they did have. Don't forget that they've changed the collar. Now it seems they've kind of in post-production made it seamless right up into the cowl, even though when he kind of, you know, CW Flash style takes the cowl off, there's a little bit of a hood there. But I really like the looks of the suit at this bit. And I believe that Iris is saying in this moment, you've been through so much, you lost both parents on the same night. Obviously, you know, his mother got murdered by the Reverse Flash. I still don't know if we're going to get proper Reverse Flash Easter eggs in this, and it would be Easter eggs at the least, because obviously it seems that they're redoing Flashpoint in quite a different adaptation here, ringing true in some ways, but altering it in other ways. So there might not be "it was me, Barry" or anything like that. There's no Atlantean war or anything like that, but it's cool seeing this footage at the beginning, and you know, it makes me think, does he arrive as she's getting, like, I want to know, like, does she arrive when the Reverse Flash is just doing his thing, or is he meant to get there like 5 minutes before? I don't know. I'm not going to try and get my hopes up too much for anything like that, but super intrigued, because it's fairly obvious that a lot of this footage that you're seeing on screen right now is the time he has gone back to the night his mother dies, after the Justice League-esque team-up that we've been hearing about towards the beginning of the movie, and as per what we see in the previous trailers, where Batfleck is just like, you know, you'll destroy everything, when Barry is like, but I can run back and change all of it. And I have to admit, just, you know, as I'm talking to you right now, I pause it and I rewatch it a little bit, and seeing Henry Allen say, Barry, call 911 now, painstakingly as his wife is dying, is it is very emotional. And from what we've heard from David Zaslav today at CinemaCon, and again, there's going to be a lot of information, I'm thinking, bleeding out of this event. It is a very emotional movie. Now, of course, I know a lot of people are going to say, like, oh, you know, David Zaslav saying it's the best superhero movie he's ever seen. It goes through emotion wave. Yes, of course, he would want to say that about the Flash movie. He wants it to do well. But what we've heard for the longest time through test screenings, if you want to frickin' toss Tom Cruise in there or whatever, it is, and Flashpoint, you know, Barry trying to change the past with his mother dying, it is an inherently emotional story. And again, as I always say here on our channel, no matter what you think of Ezra Miller, this, that, or the other, I do think this is going to hit us in the feels regardless if you go to see this movie. I do think it's going to punch us in the gut. After this, we hear Barry say, you know, I went back in time to save my parents, but instead I broke the universe. Now, this is where we get an extended shot of the Speed Force scene. As Barry is running through the Speed Force, I can only assume this is when he is actually running to save his parents. Obviously, trailer cuts and the way they're edited doesn't necessarily mean it's a part of the exact same thing that they're, you know, overlaying and narrating in the trailer, but let's just assume that it is. We've seen this in TV spots. I do think the Speed Force looks cool. I'm hoping for some Easter eggs in there, and then it appears as though he lands on the other side in this new world, and obviously the way he broke the universe is, well, you've got the Black Zero event happening again, Superman's no longer Superman, you've got Supergirl, Batman's completely different to Batfleck, I can keep going on. So it is Barry's realizing the extent of his meddling with time right here, and I do wish the Reverse Flash was here to say it was all you, Barry. It actually wasn't me. It was all you. But again, like in this shot that you're seeing on screen right now, I feel like this suit is looking a lot cleaner. And I think the main reason for that, because I know a lot of people were critiquing the helmet as of before, but I think it's all stemming from the collar that they used to have. Up next, we then see the other Barry. We know it's the other Barry because he's wearing his little kind of yellow hoodie, and Supergirl flies away. A lot of people have been speculating if there's a bond there, if that's going to kind of impact the other Barry into, I guess, worrying about her, because obviously she is going to be in the Clark mode going up against Zod. And then she asked, do you know what this symbol stands for? And of course, our Barry, the DCEU Barry, says it stands for hope, right? And she's probably like, how do you know that? And he's going to be like, well, basically, before I screwed things up, there was a guy called Kal-El. And it would be pretty cool, actually, in this scene, to her understanding, she'd be like, oh, yeah, maybe, I actually had a cousin, Kal-El. I don't know what happened to him. I think he got dispatched to this Earth. But, I'm here and there isn't a Superman. Maybe we're going to learn a bit more about this alternate timelines version of what happened to Superman. But either way, I'm looking forward to Sasha Calle's Supergirl. No matter what people say, I do think she is going to give it a very, very, very good push. And from what we've seen already, I'm impressed and I just want to see more because we're not getting too many teasers from Supergirl outside of the, what did you do? But until then, I'm rooting for her. But one thing I do want to point out at this point, when Barry says it means hope, right? We have the other Barry in his Michael Keaton Batman armor. We also see the Black Zero event going on in the Batcave in the background. So this is probably the middle-ish portion of the movie after they've already freed Supergirl, because the way we're understanding it right now, at the beginning, kind of Justice League team up kind of thing, a bit of exposition, Barry thinking, oh, maybe I'll go back in time, Batfleck like, oh, you'll destroy everything, and then he goes back in time, then he arrives in this world, they go to Wayne Manor, this, that, and the other, they go to rescue Supergirl from the Russians, I'm thinking, and then once they've got her out, she eventually gets her suit, and then they're like, okay, let's get to the battlefield, and then they battle Zod and the Kryptonians, and then there's like the third act of whatever that means there. Now, I see a lot of people, because we've got an international poster, an official poster today as well, another official poster, a lot of people were taking the piss out of the way the other Barry looks. And they're saying like, oh, the movie, because of this, the way this other Barry looks with regards to the Michael Keaton Flash makeshift armor equals movie terrible. Look, no matter what you think of Ezra Miller, this, that, and the other, judging a deliberately made goofy armor does not equate movie bad. Do you know what I'm saying? Within the logic of the movie, it works as well. So I just want to say, given the plot and the pressure they're under with the Black Zero event, given that this other Barry, from what we understand, is a noob with the Speed Force, you have to understand that they can't come up with necessarily high-tech Flash armor for him. However, they need something protective. So, oh yeah, let's deliberately give you a goofy Batman, Keaton Batman armored Flash suit, just to give you something so you don't burn up with your own Speed Force energy. But even then, even if they had more time to give it like something a little bit better, don't forget that the DCEU Batfleck gifted the Flash suit to our DCEU Barry. It's very high-tech. He's a lot more high-tech than Keaton's Batman. So given the pressure of the plot, the Black Zero event happening, obviously Zod happening, it makes sense logically that they just repurpose the suit and just put him in that. Now, yes, I know that doesn't negate that it looks goofy, or in some people's mind, very, very bad. And I don't think it looks great either. But I'm just saying, I acknowledge that, but that doesn't, equate movie equals bad. That doesn't mean Andy Muschietti's movie is terrible because of a look at the other Ezra Miller Barry looking a bit goofy. I don't know. I've just been on Twitter a bit about that today, and it just kind of was like, it just feels like those fan opinions are coming from a much different place rather than actually critiquing the armor. Anyway, moving along, we hear Supergirl Kara saying, I'll help you fight Zod, and then it cuts to Keaton saying, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Now, I thought when we knew that line was going to be in this movie, it would be from one of those screenshots. I can't remember which one it is, but it seems like he's at his back console and he seems actually a bit unhinged. I thought it'd be said there, but I didn't know it'd actually be said in this moment where he's like, yeah, I'm Batman, as per what we saw in the other trailer. It's just fascinating to me because it's a very cheesy line, obviously from an old movie, and how would it be incorporated here other than a member berry, right? I think we can all gather that fan servicey kind of member berry aspect of it. But he says it a bit more casually. And I'm a bit grateful for that. I'm not saying it's like a masterpiece or anything like that, but I do feel like the delivery that Keaton gives here makes the whole, do you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts line a lot more digestible. Even if you did prefer the cheesy version, I'm kind of surprised how, as I watch it here, it's kind of a bit more chill, if you know what I mean. Immediately after that, and I totally forgot about this as from when I just literally reacted to it. We get like this head-on shot of the Batwing, coming towards the camera, and we literally have Supergirl in the middle flying towards the camera, the other Barry in the Keaton Bat armor on the right, and then our DCEU Barry on the left. That's a really neat shot with the US military there. America trying to do everything they can to stop the Kryptonians, but it's not gonna really end up well for you guys, and I'm probably gonna say it now, without these guys helping you out. And that leads into the shot of what I was just talking about a couple of minutes ago, in where you get a good look at the other Barry in the Keaton Batman armor. And that's what a lot of people are like, oh, this movie looks terrible. It's like, it's meant to be a bloody goofy suit. It's meant to be. That doesn't mean that the writing, the story, the way it's shot and directed, this, that, and the other, thematically and everything like that is terrible. Moving on. Now up next, we have Barry kind of in Speed Force mode, kind of having a moment with his mum, even though his mum doesn't even realize it because he's moving so fast. He's basically in flash time. He says, I have to undo what I did. No matter what, even though he wants this more than anything, he's kind of wrecked the fabric of what his universe was, so he realizes that he has to undo it. And this is where we get some interesting Batfleck lines. It's like a continuation of the scene that we've been teased with in prior trailers. So on top of the "or destroy everything" that we heard in the previous trailers, he says, these scars we have make us who we are. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really, really looking forward to some Batfleck wisdom there being bestowed upon Barry Allen. Now, I'm guessing this is like after the cool down, and this is what the next clips are of the Justice League team up scene. I don't know what's been cut out. I don't know what's been kept in as per the original version, but originally, no matter what, like, you have Batfleck there, and as he said in an interview not so long ago, they get saved by Wonder Woman. They're up against bad guys. But after that, this is when I believe, just before Barry runs back in time, he's talking to Batman about, hey, I could kind of run back in time, reverse time, and I can do this. And that's when he's like, you can destroy everything. But like, I'm super intrigued as to what else gets said as per what we're being teased with right now. It's like these scars, they make us who we are. And I think we are all very down for another Batfleck scene. I mean, I know Barry goes on to run back in time, but yeah, I'm super stoked for more Ben Affleck. That's for sure. And not only that, as I continued the trailer, he says, we're not meant to go back and fix them. Don't let your tragedy define you. And that is ultimately the biggest probably learning curve that this whole film is about. Thematically, hey Barry, I know you've gone back in time, Flashpoint style, to try and save your parents, but it's not going to be what ripples out into your future. Don't let this tragedy define you. Batman's giving... It's interesting as well, when comparing this to the dialogue of what we heard from Keaton's Batman at the beginning. I feel like there's going to be a strong thematic resonance in this movie, which is what we're hearing, I believe, in terms of why it's so good. It will emotionally resonate with so many people, I believe, in terms of what the core story is going with here. We've got two Batmen in this, two Batmans who have literally, lost their parents. Barry literally refusing to acknowledge that, knowing his abilities, so he runs back in time. Despite hearing the advice that we've just gone over from Batfleck, it's, and where it will go and the lesson that Barry learns, you can see what, they're clearly going for in this movie. Not that it's a mega surprise, given that we're all very familiar with Flashpoint anyway, but even for the general audience, those who aren't familiar with Flashpoint, like remotely, I think it will hit pretty well. After this, we get some great Batwing action. It looks like he's going AT-AT style on Hoth, trying to grapple hook these ships, Kryptonian ships together. We see Supergirl in this moment, as I'm literally looking at it right now. Absolutely, it's some kind of like Kryptonian, I don't know if it's like a bit of shrapnel or like it's some kind of staff. Absolutely like whacks Zod in the face, and he kind of gets like proper like embossed into whatever maybe it's the ship or something. This could be like the moment where maybe she bests him. Maybe she makes a different decision from what Kal-El made in terms of maybe not snapping his neck. But then again, what do you do if Zod doesn't die? He's just got to keep going. Then she drops to her knees. So maybe she does do what Kal-El did, what Superman did, and she kills him. And this is, her dropping to her knees after killing him. Now, up next after this, we see some soldiers here. I believe this is from the base in where Kara is being held. We see Batman's armor taking all of these bullets. So no matter what people critique about the old Keaton armor here, even though this is a slightly revised version of the Batman Returns suit, it's bulletproof. I don't care what you say. Here's the proof. It's bulletproof, even though it looks like some rubber. We get some more footage after this of Batfleck in the Justice League-esque scene. I believe even Barry actually running up the side of the building could very well be a part of the same scene. And we even see Batfleck fly. Now, that's an awesome shot. I think fans are in for a treat, like, especially Batfleck fans. The fact that, like, I don't know what happens here if he launches off of his bat cycle and just, like, glides with his freaking cape. Oh, man, what a send-off. Like, as per what Ben Affleck has been saying in interviews not so long ago, he feels like he really nailed it. And, like, I know it's going to be maybe a brief several minutes or so at the beginning of the movie, where it's kind of like an everyday in the life of, before we get into Flashpoint with the Flash, Batman, the Justice League, sorting out something. I feel like, you know, even if a lot of Snyder fans are kind of like, you know, reboot the Snyderverse, this, that, and the other, and they might not be too keen to see this movie, I hope that they still get enjoyment out of this. After this, we see some extended scenes of where Barry is, you know, as per Flashpoint, I think our best guess is that he's basically recreating the experiment, because probably when he enters the new timeline, I don't know if he loses his powers or this, that, and the other, but he kind of needs to recreate the situation to reconnect himself to the Speed Force, and it looks like he's subjecting himself to that happening. Now, up next is one of the most intriguing scenes in the whole trailer to me, because I've been saying this time and time again, even with recent TV spots that gave away this scene a little bit. Here we see Barry and the other Barry in the Speed Force, and he says, we're not going to be able to fix this. And the other Barry, you know, in the Keaton armor, is kind of very combative, like, no. And I believe in the TV spot is like, nobody dies. Barry, our DCEU Barry, is proposing one thing, like, we're not going to be able to fix this. I don't know what is necessarily going on there, but clearly they've got to a point of, with whatever they're trying to do, they've kind of gone in their Speed Force bubble, and they're like, well, at least DCEU Barry's like, we're not going to be able to fix this. The other Barry is refusing to get down with that. He's like, no, nobody dies, as per what the TV spot gives us as well. And I've been saying, what if he then gets propelled to the point of somehow becoming Dark Flash? It just makes the most sense, rather than a third speedster, an alternate Barry. It is possible that it could be another Barry from another timeline, so you'd have our DCEU Barry, you'd have the other Barry after he enters this new timeline after saving his mom, and then you'd have some weird random kind of Dark Flash come from some other alternate time. It makes more sense that it's the other Barry that becomes Dark Flash, and he's driven by absolutely no matter what, unlike the DCEU Barry, who has learned the lesson of the movie of, okay, I know I run back in time, but I can't necessarily go through with this. You know, I'm going to accept it, kind of let my mom die, and, you know, move on a little bit. But this other DC's Barry, it's like, nobody dies, I'm gonna do this. Basically getting to the point of a cautionary tale. Like, this other Barry could be a bit of a tragedy with regards to what our DCEU Barry could become if he was so relentless in not letting anyone die, as per the message, what Ben Affleck said, with what Keaton's Batman said. Our tragedies define us, you know? Our scars make us who we are. So yeah, I do think that this other DCEU Barry is probably gonna go a bit mode and become Dark Flash, but from an empathetic standpoint from the audience, in where you can understand why he doesn't want to let anyone die, and that's probably what propels him to go into that Dark Flash mode. Up next, we get that familiar shot of Michael Keaton's Batman dropping to his knees. I say familiar because we've seen this before in a TV spot. I don't know if this means something goes wrong in the battle. Then we have a Kryptonian after this, essentially jumping onto the Batwing, trying to completely wreck Keaton, but Keaton comes out in style, as I'm watching it right now. Then we have the title screen, all these other logos, absolutely. And then we have that TV spot of Keaton saying, "Just strap to your parachutes," and then they get yeeted out and go to save Supergirl. It's very obvious that is at the point of the film. They're like, right, Operation Save Supergirl, let's go. And then that links back to that, well, not first trailer, kind of second trailer, where, you know, we have Keaton outside and then he does this with his hands, and then Supergirl's there. And then, you know, you get how it goes. Barry's wearing the same winter clothing. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the Flash trailer. I still think it makes a very decent impression. It looks like, you know, no matter what, if you're a DC fan, as I always say, drama aside, there's a lot to go, you know, there's a lot of reason to see this movie, whether you're a Keaton fan, whether you're a Supergirl fan, whether you're a Batfleck fan, there's, you know, or even if you're just a fan of the Flash. Apparently Andy Muschietti has made a very decent product. I know some people refuse to believe the rumors, the test screenings, the reports of, you know, Tom Cruise has seen it and he loves it. But I think I am starting to believe that what we've heard out there with, like, no matter what, like, I'm sure we can nitpick this movie, critique, oh, there's a plot hole here, there's a contrivance here. It will still resonate in what we've heard in very emotional ways. Flashpoint is inherently kind of like that anyway. It just looks like a good time. I had a good time with that second trailer. It gave me more of what I expected. Was hoping for maybe a bit of a Dark Flash tease, even though I think I know who Dark Flash is. I'm liking what I see. So let me know what you thought down in the comments below. What did you think of, you know, the trailer in of itself? What did you think of my thoughts in the breakdown? I read every single comment, guys, so I can't wait to see what you have to say, expand upon my theories. I'll be reading every single last one, so make sure you leave one, make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you fellow speedsters in the next video. Goodbye.